So we're talking about generating 4 professional, high-impact pieces of content. I mean, a viral thumbnail, a documentary short, an AI influencer video, and a viral story. All of it just produced in under 30 minutes.
And the total cost, get this, it was about $2 in credits.
Wow.
That doesn't just change production. I mean, it completely changes the economics of the entire creative industry.
It absolutely does. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. So you sent us this guide that really details how to shift your role from, being a tedious manual prompter to more of an automated workflow manager. We're talking about achieving what this source calls 10x results with these things called AI agents.
Exactly. And our mission today is to really unpack that shift. We need to define what an AI agent actually is, walk through 4 really specific high ROI use cases, and then analyze the content strategy that comes out of it, this ECP funnel. And of course, cover the economic payoff and, importantly, the human limitations.
Right. We're moving past the prompt engineer era and straight into this creative director role. So let's start with the problem. Why do most creators just hit a wall with the raw creative AI tools that are out there now?
Well, a lot of people jump into those raw tools. They try Nano Banana for images, Kling, or maybe Sora 2 for video, and the results are they're incredibly mixed.
Yeah.
1 minute, it's cinematic perfection. The next, it's a glitchy mess.
And the common wisdom is that the gap is just skill, right? It's about knowing the perfect 7-line prompt to get the angle you want. But who has time to master 7 different prompt languages?
It's actually worse than that. The gap isn't just one prompt, it's the entire workflow. It's knowing how to chain all those tools together correctly, how to handle aspect ratios, maintain visual consistency across maybe 5 different services. That's the manual labor that platforms like this one, Glif, they just eliminate it.
Okay, so let's define the core concept here, because AI agent is a buzzword that gets thrown around a lot. What is it really in this context?
An AI agent is it's essentially a complex tool that automates these multi-step tasks by chaining specialized AI models together. You can think of it like a conductor who's orchestrating a really specialized musical ensemble.
That's a good analogy. So manual prompting is like trying to play every instrument yourself.
Yes.
And the agent becomes the conductor.
Precisely. The agent knows the secret codes for all the specific models in the workflow. It handles the format specifications, resolution scaling, and the whole multi-step process from, say, initial web research all the way through script drafting, and then finally to image or video creation. It's end-to-end.
And the source material highlights that the platform uses several specialized models for these subtasks. For listeners who haven't tracked every single model, what are we talking about here?
We're talking about highly specialized virtuosos. Yeah. You might use Flux for these stunning high-res images, maybe Nano Banana or Cream for faster image iterations, and WAN 2.2 for specific styles. Then for video, you might use Kling, which is a specialist in smooth cinematic motion, or Sora 2, and then you hand the script off to 11 Labs, which is that ultra-realistic voice cloning tool.
That makes the agent's power really concrete. It's not one AI doing everything badly. It's one system routing the task to the best specialist AI for that part of the job.
So if someone is already spending their time manually prompting across 5 different tools, what is the single biggest benefit of switching to an agent platform like this one?
It eliminates that manual stitching required to integrate all these disparate systems, which grants you an immediate, almost unfair advantage in scale and speed. So if the agent is acting like a professional conductor, let's see what that orchestra can actually produce, starting with visual acceleration, which is so vital for that critical first scroll.
Okay, use case number 1, professional thumbnail creation using an agent called Nano Banana Ultimate. The frustrating part of raw image generation is that you often get incredible visuals, but the aspect ratio is wrong, or the faces are inconsistent from one attempt to the next.
Oh, I've dealt with that a million times. I get a perfect face, but the crop is just garbage. So how does the agent solve this automatically?
So the agent acts like a professional designer who actually understands conversion rates. It doesn't just run the prompt. It starts with an image analysis of existing viral content. It translates your vague request, like, make this pop, into really concrete instructions.
Like actually constructing a detailed prompt that says, oversaturate all colors, add thick, clean black outlines, place the subject on the left third of the screen. That's design literacy that's built right into the workflow.
Exactly. And the result is perfect YouTube 16.9 dimensions every single time. Face consistency is maintained, and it generates multiple options based on proven high CTR formats. This whole redesign and variant generation process, it cost about 50 cents in credits.
That speed and consistency are a game changer for testing new ideas. So if it can do stills that fast, The natural question is video. What does the agent unlock for more visual stories?
Use case number 2. The diorama shorts creator. This one targets those scroll-stopping, miniature tilt-shift style videos. You see them a lot for educational or historical storytelling.
We looked at the example of creating a short about the NVIDIA IPO. Can you walk us through that autonomous workflow?
Sure, it started with research. The agent accessed tools like Perplexity to gather accurate, structured facts. The date, January 22nd, 1999, and the initial price of $12.
Then it moved on its own through scene planning like the founding, the struggle, IPO day, then scripting, and then video animation prompts. And this is the key. It didn't just generate a generic video. It optimized the prompt specifically for Kling to ensure you get those smooth, cinematic tilt-shift effects.
Right, and the agent simultaneously generated the reference diorama images, created this polished voiceover using 11 labs, and then stitched everything into a cohesive 40-second piece. Total time was 5 minutes. Total cost was about $1.50.
Whoa. I mean, imagine the cost savings compared to traditional historical visualization. A traditional agency might charge thousands and demand a 2-week timeline for that.
This relies on chaining different specialized models, so what makes the video output so professional, like on the first try?
Well, the agent automatically generates highly optimized model-specific prompts for smooth visuals. That saves you from needing to have specialized knowledge of every single AI model. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me, because this moves beyond just simple content generation to scaling entire personalities and content engines.
Yeah, use case number 3, the AI influencer generator. The core insight here is that corporate brand accounts, they're losing ground. The model that's working now is one brand plus 10 people accounts, some real, some AI, because algorithms just favor individual personalities.
So the agent helps you manufacture authenticity at scale. We looked at a scenario for a tennis brand creating an automated persona.
The human just defines the character. 28-year-old, curly hair, friendly vibe. The agent then selects the most appropriate photorealistic model and keeps it consistent for future videos. They even chose a casual phone recording tone for the voice.
And the results were strong, accurate lip sync, excellent voice quality. But there was a nuance noted. The visual was maybe 95% realistic. The environment felt a little generic, a bit AI looking.
And that 5% gap is important. Even with these agents, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes, specifically when getting the environment, the lighting, or the background clutter just right to look truly authentic.
That forces the question of human oversight, which leads to use case number 4, the TikTok Reddit story creator. This is the ultimate viral content engine-narrated Reddit stories over gameplay footage for rapid audience growth.
Right, so the agent was told to find a popular story about a startup success. It found a great story about a developer who built $1 million saws just by posting on Reddit, but the initial script it generated was, as the source calls it, mid.
Informative, but not compelling.
Exactly, and this is a critical moment. The human creative director had to step in. They prompted the agent again. Make this more narrative-driven, more specific, and give the main character some stakes.
And the script transformed from just a dry success summary into this compelling story about a broke developer named Tom with only $47 in the bank. That human touch transformed data into drama.
Then the agent automatically handled all the voiceovers, it retrieved specific gameplay footage, and it formatted the video with subtitles for mobile viewing, all for about 50 cents.
The scaling potential there is just immense. You can run that same workflow every morning and automatically generate videos from trending stories to grow an audience fast.
So what did that Reddit story example really teach us about the agent's true value, in relation to the human input?
The agent executes, but the human must be the one to push the output, to be compelling, to be narrative-driven, and to be imbued with real emotional stakes.
So if we can generate content this quickly, we really need a strategic framework to monetize it. The guide suggests something called the ACP funnel.
A stands for audience. So you use this hyper-consistent, high-quality AI content to build massive attention and followers.
Right. Then C is community. This is where you deepen those relationships, maybe through paid groups or exclusive events or newsletters. This is the crucial step where you move beyond just passive viewers.
And P is product. You monetize by selling vibe-coded solutions products that are tailored precisely to the needs and the aesthetics of that community. The strategy starts with audience because the agent dramatically lowers the cost and the risk of building that initial following.
And this brings us to the core economic analysis. Why pay for a platform like Glif when you could just try to stitch together free tools? It all comes down to what the source calls the prompting tax.
Okay, explain the prompting tax.
That tax is all the time, the effort, and the wasted credits you spend on multiple failed generations. It's the hours you spend researching the optimal prompts, the model settings, the aspect ratios for every new model, like when Kling or Sora 2 drop a new version. It's the cost of being your own R&D department.
That sounds great. But if Glyph is proprietary, are we not just trading the prompting tax for a platform tax? I mean, doesn't this just lock creators into one expensive ecosystem?
That's the tension, you're right. You are trading some freedom for efficiency, but the source material argues that the efficiency gain right now far outweighs that platform cost. Look at the time value calculation. A manual approach to one complex project takes 9 to 14 hours. The agent approach takes 12 to 15 minutes.
That is a 36 to 70 times speed increase. That's massive. But how does that affect the creator's actual strategy?
Well, it fundamentally changes where the creator invests their time. Instead of spending 14 hours executing one video, you can spend 14 hours analyzing market demand or refining your product or spending time engaging your community in the ACP funnel. And the quality goes up too. First attempt success rate jumps from, say, 20–30% manually up to 70–80% using agents.
So the creator saves days of effort and can redirect their energy from tedious execution to high-leverage creative vision.
And that shift in focus from doing to directing is where the real profits are going to be generated.
We've established the enormous potential, but now we need the honest assessment. Even with this level of automation, what are the limits? What does the agent not replace?
Okay, first thing, it does not replace creative direction. You have to remain the visionary. The agent is just a highly efficient executor. The strategy, the timing, the brand voice, that is all human input.
And the output, even if it's 80 or 90% perfect, still requires human eyes.
Absolutely. The source notes that most outputs still require about 10 to 20% human refinement. You might need to manually adjust the color grading to match your brand, or subtly trim the first 2 seconds for a punchier hook, or just ensure brand compliance is perfect.
Right, we saw that with the AI influencer example. The agent can nail the face and the voice, but it might miss those local, authentic background details.
Exactly. It won't auto-suggest hook variations, at least not yet. It still struggles with a consistent brand memory across multiple sessions, and that visual consistency, especially with faces, can drift between shots. That final 10% of human polish is where premium content really lives.
And these gaps are why the mindset shift is, it's non-negotiable. We have to reject the old identity.
Right. Reject the prompt engineer label. That is the old way, focused on execution details. The new way is to embrace the creative director role. Your job is taste, strategy, and orchestrating your AI team.
It's the 80-20 rule applied to creation. The AI provides the 80%, the structure, the bulk execution, all the variations. The human provides the final 20%, the nuanced taste, the voice, the narrative drama, and the market strategy.
And that 20% is what differentiates content that performs from content that just disappears. The bottom line is that the execution bottleneck has vanished. You can generate 4 pieces of professional, high-impact content in under 30 minutes for $2.
To synthesize this, the core takeaway is clear. The ability to execute on ideas is now cheaper and faster than at any point in history. The execution gatekeeper is gone. This truly is the era of the idea guy.
The tools are powerful, they're accessible, and they are ready for mass adoption. I mean, they're no longer just academic experiments, they're production ready.
So the only remaining question for you, the listener, is not if the technology works, but will you pivot? Will you shift your energy from manually prompting individual tools to orchestrating an automated AI production team?
Think about where your time is best spent this coming week. Focus on the 20% of taste and strategy, and just let the agents handle the 80% of execution. We really encourage you to mull on your own content strategy in light of this new automation power.
We'll see you next time on the Deep Dive.